Well, good afternoon. A very warm welcome here to Hoogerheide in the Netherlands for the Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup as we glance across what is going to be the final competition of this year's World Cup Series. Big crowd here as usual in Hoogerheide getting ready for today's race. Here's the standings after all the various rounds we've seen. Sophie de Boer cannot be beaten at the top of the leaderboard. 438 points as the winner of this World Cup. Behind her, Katarina Nash in second place. Sanne Cant, who will be back here racing again. And as you can see there, the top 20 riders, which include number 18 there, Marianne Vos, who has won the last two rounds of this year's World Cup Series. She's the rider who is very much on form right now, and everyone is mentioning as a possible winner of another world title. Well, as usual, everyone is here enjoying the frites and mayonnaise, enjoying the atmosphere as we take a look here at the course. 3 kilometers in length, one of the longest courses that we see. Very difficult. It's got a very long run up the stairs. This course has changed over the last few years, but it still has the similar characteristics that we see in Hoogerheide. And it is, of course, the Grand Prix Adrie van der Poel, as you can see there on the right-hand side at the top of the caption. And Adrie van der Poel is the course designer here in Hoogerheide. And his son Mathieu, of course, will be racing in the men's event. Well, an expectant crowd getting ready for the course. Here's the start list. And I have to say, don't miss this women's race because without doubt, this is the strongest women's field we have seen in a World Cup, maybe ever. 74 riders taking to the start line, and every one of the biggest names in cyclocross are on the start line today. As we count our way through the various nations, nice to see the Australians all there in force. And Eva Lechner wears number 35 there. Lechner, of course, a previous winner of this round of the World Cup. Lots of different nationalities represented here, including Japan, who have got 3 women racing in this series. They are going to come up here as the last few riders to take to the start. Notably, the world champion of under-23s, Evie Richards, is on that list there, wearing number 76. And there's the 3 Japanese riders who will be racing here in Hoogerheide at the race start. Well, a massive crowd. There's the supporters of Sophie de Boer. What a great season she has had. As you can see there on the left-hand side, not very much wind. It's 2 degrees centigrade. It's been pretty much under freezing all day today. But it's starting to warm up just a little bit. It's not going to get much warmer than 4 degrees before the end of today's racing. As we take a look there, a wave from Caroline Marnie, the French champion, alongside her, Ellen Van Looy. Alongside Ellen Van Looy, there we have Katie Compton already. Beside her, Sanne Cant is back racing. She had a break. There is the World Cup winner, Sophie de Boer, focused and ready. Talita de Jong is back. The world champion is ready for today's race. There's Katarina Nash. Alongside her, Eva Lechner, the Italian champion. Tucked in behind them is Niki Bramier. And some of the big names are on the second row of the grid. Such is now the standard of this cyclocross. The tape is drawn back. They're under the start, uphill, and it is a power climb to the first corner. As they make their way off the start, who's going to get the best start? Looks like Talita de Jong. Of course, she comes from near here. She is the world champion. She's not had the best of cyclocross seasons, but she went away, and as they go powering past my commentary box, Talita de Jong is right up there at the front. But Talita is now starting to come back onto form towards the World Championships, and she won't go down without a big fight in the World Cyclocross Championships to try and retain this title. a huge field, more women racing here than in the men's race. 74 riders, 70 men will take to the start, and it is Talita de Jong who gets the best start. Behind her is Eva Lechner, the Italian champion. Behind her is Christine Majeras, who finished second yesterday in the Castle Cross in Zonnebeek, and is heading, of course, to Luxembourg next weekend for the World Championships. The Luxembourger, multiple national champion, is getting stronger all the time. Can she finish on the podium in her home World Championships? That is the dream of Christine Majeras. As we see them go down this little track, which is now very, very slidey, 2 degrees. It was -6 degrees at 7 a.m. this morning, and very icy. But the track is nice and wide here. There's been a few crashes along the way, but we should see relatively good racing conditions. You just have to find a little bit of grip if you possibly can. Talita de Jong looking good, wearing number 1. Eva Lechner always gets a good start. Behind them is Christine Majeras. Not far behind is the ominous figure of Marianne Vos. And we'll try and pick out where the under-23 World Cup leader is. She's normally been involved in the mix nice and early. And where is Sophie de Boer as well, as they go fast along to the next turn. There is Sophie de Boer. Behind her, always close to her at the start, is the American rider who leads the under-23 World Cup. She's had a fantastic season so far. Wonderful to see the American rider, Ellen Noble, who is looking extremely good. Can she, of course, win the world title for the United States of America? Evie Richards, the world champion, is here. So it'll be interesting to compare those two riders to see how they go in today's race. Evie Richards is gridded a long way back, though. Has got to pick her way through the field to get to the front. So as they track their way along, don't forget you can join us on Twitter today. At Ant McCrossan is where you can send in any of your messages. But Talita de Jong looks very, very comfortable indeed at the front of this race. It's suited to her prowess as a road rider. She knows this area well, so she will be just now trying to extend her advantage. Marianne Vos looks comfortable wearing number 3. Ellen van Looy is always involved in the action. Behind them, Sophie de Boer, Ellen Noble. Behind her is Sanne Cant of Belgium. But it's the figure of the world champion who's had a bad day in Zolder, but now looks like she's fully recovered. She took a little bit of time off. She went to Lanzarote, got some warm weather training in. And it certainly seems to have done her an awful lot of good so far in this race, as she sits comfortably setting the tempo, which is, of course, what Talita de Jong is known for. She likes to do this. She doesn't like to have the race dictated to her from what we have seen in the way that she rides cyclo-cross. Christine Majeras leaves a little bit of a gap. Oh, someone's crashed. I'm just looking to see who has hit the deck, and is that the world champion? I think it might be. We can't quite see. Yep, the world champion Talita de Jong has hit the deck. Well, she was riding so well. As she went through there, she was setting a great tempo. And she's really quite winded having hit the ground there. It's very, very slidey on these hard, slick conditions, and I think that could be race over, having said how well she was going. The world champion at the front of the race slides off, and she's unable to get going here. There's so many riders in this field. She shakes her head. You have to feel for Talita. She's not had the best of seasons in those rainbow bands, and today she was looking so good at the front of the race, setting the tempo against everybody else. And she's trying here to just get herself going, but I think she's pretty badly shaken. It's so hard underground. Looks like she may well have just lost the front wheel as she came into that slight off-camber section. And Talita just certainly the right leg, I think, is very, very sore indeed, and I think she's going to have to unfortunately retire from this race. Oh, the world champion is distraught here after such a nice build-up to this race, and was going so well. But she'll just have to find her way back to the line. It is technically extremely difficult out here. As the Lars van der Haar was telling me before the start, you just have to, you skid through all the major corners. It's so icy. And also there's a little bit of sand on this course. And Talita, I think that right leg is extremely badly bruised. She can hardly even turn the pedals. And of course she's got to get her way back here to the finish line. The tempo has very much gone out the front of this race. It was her that was dominating this cross. And as they make their way across the line here to complete lap number 1, Evie Richards is going with Sanne Cant at the front of the race. The race time then, as they went across the line, was 6 minutes and 36 seconds back to the to one of the intermediate checkpoints, but now as they make their way across the finish line, it's around about 7 minutes and 15 seconds for the lap. Talita makes her way over the barriers. She's in quite a bad way here. Literally is like landing on concrete, and I wonder whether they should just be trying to stretcher her back to the finishing line. She's not in a good way. Marianne Vos, meanwhile, has decided she's had enough, and she goes on the attack. Vos now is stretching this race out. She's decided to use her power to try and get rid of everybody. And Sanne Cant is trying to go with her. Katarina Nash is there. Lucinda Brand also. And finally, someone is able to take Talita back to the starting area. But Marianne Vos now has just attacked very, very hard indeed at the front of this race. Well, let's hope Talita's okay. As soon as we get a little bit of information, we'll try and update you as to what is going on. But certainly that right leg looks like it's extremely sore, having slid off on the ice. Marianne Vos then at the front of the race. Behind her, Sanne Cant, and Sanne is trying to go with her. But once you give Marianne Vos this sort of distance on the form that she has right now, it's very, very hard to go with her. And Vos now, with that dominant performance in Fuji, is trying to put her influence on everyone else here as she goes clear at the front of lap number 2. Vos kicks her way up the climb. Sanne Cant is trying to go with her. Today is much more of her ability to race the course compared to the technical aspects of Fuji last week. So if your form is good, then you will be able to go with Marianne Vos. Sanne really digging hard now to try and get back to the rider from WM3. Well, Lucinda Brand is up there, wearing the colours of her new team, but Voss looks very easy through this little turn as we go back to see where Sanna is. Katarina Nash has been able to go with the move of Sanna Kant. Behind her is Lucinda Brand, twice fourth in the World Cup so far this season. Former teammate, of course, on the road of Marianne Vos. And Lucinda will like these sort of conditions. Former teammate, of course, of Talita. The Rabo Live team now no longer, and those riders have ended up in all different squads. Lucinda Brand's gone to Sunweb, Talita de Jong's gone to Laris. And Marianne Vos kept some of the team together and is there for WM3 now, her new team. But the pressure is firmly on at the front. Thanks for the questions, Andy Bell. Yes, Helen Wyman has taken to the start, but she was gridded number 23, which means she's a long, long way back. I was talking to Steph, her husband, before the race starts. She's unable still to get the bike firmly on her right shoulder, but she can put it across her back. But there's not too much running on this course today, luckily. Helen Wyman, of course, is a physio by trade. That's what she trained at, so she knows exactly how good or bad her mobility is on that shoulder. Sanna Kant trying to shut the gap on Marianne Vos. Marianne just bouncing that front wheel a little. I don't know whether she thinks she might have a puncture. And of course these riders are riding very, very low pressure. Around about 1.3 bar, maybe 22 PSI in the tyres. And that means that there is the possibility of some impact punctures on this really hard surface. And Vos was bouncing the front wheel there, wondering whether she thinks she's got a front wheel problem here. We'll keep an eye on how she's doing as she makes her way now towards the completion of this little section. She looks okay. She's looking down a lot at that front tyre. Katarina Nash doesn't look as fast out of that turn there as Marianne Vos did. Sanna Kant looks to be struggling just a little bit here. Lucinda Brand is able to go with Sanna. Looks like Marianne's front wheel is okay though. As Vos goes to that cobbled little section, twists and turns. No, that front wheel is okay. She gets onto the stairway to heaven. A long, long uphill section here. 3 meters wide steps right up this bank. Really drains the energy. Sanna's trying to sprint her way up there to get into retaining her third place. Eva Lechner alongside her. It looks like Katie Compton is starting to move forward a little bit. Good to see Katie Compton back in the racing here. Thanks to the Alma Grand Prix for the message about tyres. Most people are on Griffos today, by the looks of things. Tom Pidcock was out trying all sorts of combinations earlier on as Marianne Vos comes back to the completion of a lap. Look at the way she is absolutely motoring her way up to the top of this rise. Crosses the line. 4 laps of racing to go for Marianne Vos. Marianne Vos's lap time, 6:51 that time. Very fast indeed, 26.22 kilometers an hour. Into the pits. Stuart Riemer. Has Evie Richards beaten Ellen Noble every time they've raced together this season? Well, Evie hasn't really ridden the full cyclocross season, but yes, she's beaten Ellen. But Ellen, you have to credit her for the fact she's ridden pretty much the entire season, and she's been so consistent and so good. Having come out of the pits then, Katarina Nash has caught Marianne Vos. Behind them is Lucinda Brand. This is her best position in a World Cup so far. And Katarina Nash into that drop here. is now going to try and race Marianne Vos. The other riders are coming back, so we don't have the dominant force of Marianne Vos this time. There goes Katie Compton. Ellen Van Looy goes through the picture. Evie Richards, Sophie de Boer. But Katarina Nash looks comfortable now. She takes a little bit of time to get going on cyclocross events, but once she gets to the front, then you have to worry about her all the time. And Lucinda Brand now leads this World Cup with a little quartet of riders going clear. Two more riders trying to come across, so it's Brand, Nash, Marianne Vos, Sanne Cant, and a couple more riders who are just behind here, which I think is Katie Compton, trying now to come back to the front as well. This race I've been excited about since I saw the start list yesterday. I think this could be one of the best cyclocross races we see for a long, long time. There are so many great riders in here. All the riders who are vying for World Championship. Everyone is back, and Katie Compton and Eva Lechner are now trying to shut the gap on Marianne Vos and the rest of this quartet up front, and they're about to make the junction. Great to see Katie Compton back here racing. She, of course, won this round of the World Cup in 2011. Marianne Vos has been the rider who's led the field, of course, in winning here. She won in 2010, 12 and in 2013. She also won the World Championships here in 2014. So it's a very happy hunting ground for Marianne Vos. Well, Katarina Nash doesn't look too concerned about the company in this little group. Katie Compton wearing number 11, a continental champion, of course, if you're wondering why she's wearing that unusual jersey. Sanne just hovering on and off the back of this group all the time. You may remember the last time we raced here, Katie Compton had a bad start. She pulled her foot out of the pedal. We're going into the pits with Nash, Vos, Cant, Lucinda Brandt straight onto the bike. She's going to attack hard to get back into that group. Eva Lechner's going to rejoin. Katie didn't have a great pit there. And hello to the Dutchies for your message from the bottle. Oops, Lucinda Brand has to get off the bike round that turn there. Good to hear from all of you. Questions about some different nationalities. I'll do my very best to update some of you on different nationalities, but we'll just keep an eye for now on what's going on at the front, because Lucinda Brand has lost the front of the race, but Eva Lechner is having to work extremely hard to get back. Right, let's update you on some nationalities, some different positions. We'll keep an eye on what's going on. The best placed British rider right now is Evie Richards, running 7th. Behind Christine Majeras is running 12th for Luxembourg. Lise Marie Henselin of Switzerland is running 14th at the moment. Other nationalities, Caitlin Antonou, Amanda Miller, Ellen Noble are 18th, 19th and 20th at this moment in time. Helen Wyman down in 24th place. Magali Rochette of Canada is 22nd right now. And let's just update on, let's pick out maybe the Australians. Also, anyone supporting the youngsters from Great Britain, Fionn James and Amira Mella, they're 40th and 41st right now. Ruby West of Canada is 44th. And Naomi Williams of Australia, 63rd. Rebecca Locke, 66th at this moment in time. And Olivia Nendick is 72nd. Stacey Riedel is 70th at this moment in this World Cup. Hope that updates you a little bit on some of the nationalities who are racing here in Hoogerheide. Meanwhile, at the front, we have some race going on, and it's going to continue as Marianne Vos tries to work out a way to get rid of the rest of this competition, who are now quite happy to be sitting on the wheels. Vos with really fast feet, making her way up the steps, and Eva Lechner is very, very good on the climbs. She makes her way to the front. Oh, Katie Compton slips on the top few steps there. Doesn't go down on her knees too much there, so she's okay. I thought she was going to rip the shins all the way down those steps. Luckily, managed to just get the hand down in time. Well, thanks for the messages. At @McCrossan is where you can message me. Courtney Lashoy, thank you very much for asking for some updates. And hopefully we've helped you out there as we go across the line. Yet again, another fast lap by Marianne Vos. Coming up now with 3 laps of racing to go. 7:19, she has slowed up a little bit that time, and more riders are finding their way back to the front. As Nikki Bramier said to me before the start, this is like riding a giant crypt with a set of stairs in the middle. Literally super, super fast. And road riders will not worry about this at all. There's a few more riders coming back now. One is Lauren Verdonschot, who was 6th in Fuji, and she liked the icy conditions, and she can almost see the front. She's the rider, if you pick her out, in the turquoise colours of the Marlux team. And Lucinda Brand just dicing a little bit off the back here. It's going to be a proper race in the last couple of laps, this one. Thanks, Brad Sona. I knew you'd update me if I was wrong. Noble was 10th at Zeven and Richards was 14th. So thank you for that update. I didn't have that in front of me. Oh, a big crash. Couple of riders hitting the deck. It's very, very icy there. That was Chiara Tiocchi, the European champion, who slid off on that corner. As you can see, though, 3 more riders are coming back. One is Christine Majeras. And the next group of riders, which means we're going to have almost a peloton, is led by Sophie de Boer. Sophie was staying in our hotel last night. Enjoyed a nice leisurely breakfast, chatting to Lars van der Haar over breakfast, and looked to be in very, very good spirits ahead of today's race. And another rider hits the deck. Oh, that was Katie Compton, has just crashed on that corner. And that is how that crash happened then. Katie Compton hit the deck, and Chiara Tiocchi also came to grief. Katie, though, just trying to get herself going again, wearing number 11 today. So, who do you think's going to win this one? Because so far, Marianne Vos has not been able to find the attack to get rid of everyone. Is she just sitting in here and waiting until the time is right? Or is she being matched by all these riders? And are we going to see a different winner? Vos has dominated the last 2 rounds. She won in Zolder, she won in Fuji. Oh, and Nikki Bramier slides off. As a few riders were saying before the start, oh, a crash, and Eva Lechner hits the deck, and her teammate Katarina Nash also plows into her. It is literally, as what's happening is the soil and the... Oh, Eva just took the back front wheel, just slid away. Basically, what's happened is that it's icy underground, and where it's now starting to heat up, the sand that's on this course is now being taken away, and you're just exposing ice underneath. And so you can lean the bike over on one lap, and the next time you lean the bike over, the traction isn't there, and you just lose it totally. So you are right on the absolute limit of crashing right now, particularly at the tempo these riders are going at. The leader of this race then is Sanne Cant of Belgium. Marianne Vos has sensed an opportunity here to try and go with Sanne, but Sanne missed the last round, of course, didn't she? Because she felt that she needed to get her form back. Just was asked about some Spanish riders. Lucia Gonzalez is now 23rd. She's the highest placed Spanish rider in this race, as two riders go clear after that crash. It's a magnificent crowd here in Hoogerheide. Sanne has decided that this is the time that she needs to crack everybody. And Vos is desperately trying to work her way across to the lead. It's Lucinda Brand. Behind her is Anne-Marie Wurst, who is having a great couple of races. She was 4th in Fuji. But that little crash has caused some problems, because it's left gaps now, whereas before Nash and Eva Lechner were very, very dangerous. Sanne Cant about to be joined here by Marianne Vos, and Vos now makes the junction. The top riders across the line last time then were Vos, Cant, Nash, Lechner, Brand, Compton, Verdonschot, Majerus, Wurst and Van Looy. It's kind of changed a little bit, but Brand is working her way back to the front. Just out of shot is Laura Verdonschot, who's trying to go with them. Marianne Vos wants a hat-trick of victories if she can. Onto the steps. This is an extremely tough climb, isn't it? Look at that. The longest steps in cyclocross. Once your legs start to turn to jelly after the amount of hard racing you've been doing, it's so hard to get your steps right. Cant and Vos are about to be joined by Lucinda Brand, who is having her best race of the season. Marianne Vos just recovering. She knows that Sanne Cant is extremely dangerous. I talked to her when she beat Sanne Cant in Diegem. She said she had to race her. She had to work out exactly how to beat her. But any moment now, the World Cup leader is about to make her way to the front. The courage of Sophie de Boer is to be inspired by. She never gives in. And she's now back at the front of the race. And she's now going to go on the attack. 2 laps to go. .7:13 that lap was. Lucinda Brand crossing the line first. Brand's really happy to take this one on. Behind them, Majerus, Bramier, another big group of riders as Lucinda Brand kicks her way through this track here. Doesn't look to be troubled at this moment in time by the icy conditions. She looks to be thriving at this moment. Very, very fast, though. Face on Lucinda Brand. Absolute concentration as she leans the bike into that corner. You can see just who's trusting their tyres and who's just taking a few less risks, especially a week before the World Championships. The two Boels-Dolmans riders here, Majerus and Bramier, now are riding together. Evie Richards, the under-23 World Champion, not far behind. Katarina Nash has recovered. She is still in that little group of riders behind. So It is Brandt, followed by Kant, followed by Vos. Behind her is De Boer, Anne-Marie Verst, and Verdonschot is the leading group. Just a few seconds behind. Christine Majerus, Nikki Bramier, Sophie De Boer. Somehow, she just finds her way back to the front of a race and eventually gets herself on the podium. Very impressive indeed. Who is going to take this victory? What do you think? Don't forget to join us for the World Championships next week. It'll be me and Simon Burney who will be bringing you the action. We'll also try and bring some guests in to join us. Now Marianne Vos is trying to go clear. She's decided to attack everybody. Lucinda Brand is trying to go with her former teammate on the road. Sanne Cant looks comfortable. Sophie De Boer is unable to go with that big attack of Marianne Vos. This is this tricky little section, and Vos knows that this is the time to put everyone into difficulty because technically she doesn't mind riding on the ice. Vos is going clear now. Lucinda Brandt through that corner wherever Lechner had the problem, but Vos went through it as though there was no trouble on that corner whatsoever. Thanks for all the questions. Bruce, thank you very much. Yep, the Worlds we will bring you next weekend. Noah Van Putten, who will win the junior race at the World Championships. Everyone says the favourite is Tom Pidcock of Great Britain, but he was joined this morning by Ben Turner, his teammate. Beverly Lucas of Night Wheels, she's messaged in. Thanks for watching, and everyone else who's watching, thank you very much for joining us as Marianne Vos now puts the pressure on. This is a tricky little section. Sunny when you come out of it. She's just trying to get a bit of daylight between her and Sanne Cant. And Vos now has a few seconds. This is a dangerous, dangerous move. Doesn't look to me like the rest of these riders have got the firepower in their legs to go with Marianne Vos right now as we crisscross back towards the VIP tents. A massive crowd here in Hoogerheide. And Sanne Cant working that bike hard, isn't she? New coloured machine for Sanne Cant as Vos now with that familiar punchy style goes clear. She's kind of sat in for a couple of laps. She's decided she doesn't want to leave it to the sprint. Chris Gardner, no word on Talita yet. We'll find out about Talita's condition as soon as we can. I'll try and get some information in the break between the women's and men's race. But is this the dominant attack now of this cyclocross? Because Vos is looking supreme right now. She tried one attack, she was brought back. Sanne Cant looks to have pretty heavy legs now as she looks to see where Marianne Vos is. Lucinda Brandt has been setting the tempo. Lucinda, if she finishes on the podium here, will be her best position ever in a World Cup. 1 week from the World Championships as Vos puts the bike through that little hurdle that she's got to just force the wheel into that pit. But Anne-Marie Vos yet again is up there as Vos now hits the steps. How much she's working those feet. Rocky Balboa had nothing on Marianne Vos up those steps. Here goes Sanne Cant, so much faster than any of the other riders on those steps. She just makes a few seconds here, a few seconds there, purely by the technique and the fitness that she has. Bramier and Majerus are joined together. Evie Richards is still there, the under-23 world champion, which is interesting, a week away from the world title. Sanne Cant doesn't look to be able to go with Marianne Vos, who's on her aero road position, riding strongly, and is going to come through here with 1 lap of racing to go, looking like she's on a road ride. Vos now sprinting, 35 minutes of racing gone, 1 lap to go. And Marianne Vos has the lead as they take the bell. The fastest lap is by Vos, 26.25 kilometers an hour. Six minutes and 47 seconds was that lap, the fastest lap we have seen, 26.5 kilometers an hour. And this is where Marianne Vos's power tells. The riders in the top positions across the line that time. Vos followed by Cant, followed by Brand, Verdonschot in 4th, Sophie de Boer in 5th, Anne-Marie Verst in 6th, Nikki Bramier in 7th place, Christine Majerus in 8th place, Evie Richards in 9th, Katarina Nash in 10th, Helene Clausel of France is in 11th. Caitlin Antonova, United States of America, I think running about 14th right now. Eva Lechner's in 15th, Lise Marie Henselin is 16th for Switzerland. Magali Rochette of Canada is having a great race in 18th place. Katie Compton down in 19th now. Chiara Tiocchi of Italy in 20th place as things stand. But Vos is going clear and she is just riding away. Sophie de Boer trying now to get herself onto the podium. The World Cup winner this season, she won in Vegas. She started her season superbly. She was then 2nd in Valkenburg, 3rd in Namur. She was 6th in Zolder, back in 3rd place in Fuji. And now de Boer looking for another podium place to finish off the World Cup. She doesn't have to worry about losing that jersey. It is hers. Interesting question about Sophie de Boer's sponsors and what's the B stand for. She is sponsored by Bree Park, which is a park near Breda, where she comes from. And it's a new area where they are trying to bring in festivals, and they've had a bike race there and everything. She's got her own individual sponsors at the moment for cyclocross, brought together with the help of Service Carnarvon, who of course is team director. And I think they're hoping that they will expand things over the coming season. So she's got that collection of sponsors on the road. She rides for Park Hotel. But right now, Lucinda Brand is trying to go clear to get 2nd place in this World Cup. Lucinda Brand, former Dutch road race champion. Chasing her former team leader in the Rabo Liv team. But if Lucinda goes clear here, this will certainly set her up for the World Championships. But what we're learning right now is that Marianne Vos, without any shadow of a doubt, is the pre-race favourite of the Worlds. And everyone else is going to have to spend the next week worrying about how they beat her. Because right now, Marianne Vos is heading towards another World Cup win. Wearing number 3. Going clear. Remember, she's gridded so far back, she has to work her way all the way through the field. But still, she finds herself at the front. The top positions then, it's Vos, followed by Brand, Sanne Cant, Verst, Verdonschot, Sophie de Boer, as Marianne Vos makes her way back into the sunshine. Well, thank you to all of you for your messages. At Ant McCrossan is where you can tweet me. We've had a lot of fun in these World Cups, talking about the various different races. Marianne Vos, has she got a mechanical problem? I'm not sure. She unshipped her chain that time. Let's just double check she's okay. Yep, she's all right now. She looked down. She's got everything working again. as Lucinda Brand tries to shut the gap on her. It's the way you can really race hard, and Lucinda Brand is one of the domestiques that Marianne Vos used to bring back breakaways to set her up for the sprint. She knows how fast Lucinda Brand can be on tough conditions, and Brand is trying to chase her down now. Vos still with a few seconds intact, around about 10 seconds, maybe a little bit more. Jason Keener wants to know about hurdles on the course. Let's not go there yet again. Last week we talked about the different definition of hurdles and obstacles and everything else that we wanted to call them. I'm sure they'll be back at some point. Marianne Vos looking good. Taking to the grass on the left-hand side, looking for a little bit more grip as she works her way now towards the finishing line. She needs to just safely make her way through here to win another World Cup. Marianne Vos, when she returned to racing, it didn't take her long to be back on the top step of the podium. And she looks absolutely on top form. She doesn't have jazz feet this week. She just has sprinting feet as far as the steps are concerned. It's a quick step to the top. Marianne Vos is now going to make her way to the finishing line. The Dutch champion. Is she going to swap that for the rainbow bands in a week's time? Lucinda Brand not too far behind. Anne-Marie Verst is trying to put herself on the podium ahead of Sanne Cant. Sanne, of course, has had a very heavy block of training. She may well have heavy legs this week, but will they be right on form next week? Vos looks across to see where everyone else is. She puts herself onto the drops because she knows it's an uphill sprint for the finishing line. But Marianne Vos is going to put herself on the top step of the podium yet again, in front of a great crowd. Vos is the boss in Hoogerheide. She wins. The Dutch champion takes yet another victory in the World Cup. Marianne Vos wins. Behind her on the podium is going to be Lucinda Brand. So that's the best position she's finished in her World Cup. She punches the air. Anne-Marie Verst takes third place. Behind her, Sanne Cant. Verdon shot behind her. Behind her is Evie Richards, the under-23 world champion. Beats Katarina Nash across the line. Sophie de Boer wins the World Cup. She's on the right-hand side. Crossing the line now is Maud Kapteins. Behind her, Christine Majerus. And just behind is Nikki Bramier. But going in now to recover is Marianne Vos with a stunning victory here in Hoogerheide. Well, rider wearing number 8, Anne-Marie Verst. That's an impressive ride by that youngster. Is she going to win the world title for under-23 riders? Very, very impressive indeed. She's got better and better every week. As we see the arrival then of Caitlin Antonow. And not far behind Caitlin Antonow is the next rider coming in, and that is Lise Marie Henselin of Switzerland. Katie Compton after that crash. And we watch the rest of the field coming in for the various positions. Helen Wyman in her return World Cup on the right-hand side. Well, what a race that was. The top positions decided a little bit by some crashes, decided by the power of Marianne Vos. Vos looks round, daylight between her and the rest of the field. She won in the end by around about 12 seconds. Absolutely supreme today. Here's the result of the Hoogerheide World Cup Cyclo-cross. Marianne Vos wins ahead of Lucinda Brand by 13 seconds. Anne-Marie Vost takes third place. It's an all-Dutch podium. Sanne Cant just behind. The under-23 world champion Evie Richards in 6th place. And there's the rundown of the top 20. Magali Rochette of Canada, great performance by her in 18th place.
Collega Laurens van der Zundert die gaat dadelijk in de corner verplaatsen naar de ceremonie grote gedaan aan het grote podium.
Here's the rundown of the rest of the riders. Down to the top 30. Here's the highlights of today. Talita de Jong led the race until she had this bad crash on this downhill section and had to make her way back after so much preparation for today to the pits area, and we wish her all the very best. Meanwhile, at the front, Sanne Cant and Eva Lechner and Catharina Nash were locked in battle with Marianne Vos. There was a crash for Katie Compton. And behind her, a couple more riders hit the deck, including the European champion, Chiara Tiocchi. Katie Compton eventually finishing in the top 20 riders. But up the front, it was Sanne Cant and Eva Lechner who looked good until Lechner hit the deck and took down her teammate Catharina Nash. And that was the moment where Marianne Vos decided that it was time to go away. From this moment on then, Marianne Vos just dominated the race, riding away from everyone else. And behind it was all about the places, because Vos had this course absolutely nailed. In a way, she just slides the bike round the corners. Lucinda Brand, with her best placing in a World Cup, looked strong. But Vos now is without doubt the out-and-out favourite for the World Championships. Lucinda Brand is now a contender for the podium, no doubt. Anne-Marie Vost, with a great performance to finish third. She has put a message out as well. Here's the World Cup standings at the end of the series. Sophie de Boer wins, ahead of Sanne Cant, and Catharina Nash in third place at the end of a long season that started in Vegas a few months ago. Marianne Vos moves up from 18th place to 12th place. But Marianne Vos, 3 starts, 3 wins. We wait now for the podium. A few of you asking about different nationalities and performances. The American riders, Caitlin Antonow 15th, Katie Compton 17th, Amanda Miller 19th. The Rebecca Fahringer was 24th today. The best Swiss rider, Lise Marie Henselin. Lucia Gonzalez of Spain was 25th. And the Spanish riders getting stronger and stronger in cyclocross all the time. We wait now for the podium. And here is Marianne Vos.
Marianne Vos, many congratulations. I guess you're ready for the World.
Well, yeah. I felt already good the last weeks, but it's good to have such a race in final preparation.
It would be your 8th world title. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's not yet so far, and I'm happy with this World Cup victory first. But of course, I'm already a little bit of focus on next week as well.
En terecht. Het was indrukwekkend hè, toen je vertrok. Wilde je nog eens heel erg diep gaan met het oog op dat wereldkampioenschap van volgende week?
Oh, nou ja, goed. Ik demareerde op 1,5 ronde van het einde. En ja, goed, dan is het nog een 10 minuten. Hè, dus dat moet lukken. Maar goed, ik voelde me goed en ik had meteen een gaatje. Maar je weet ook, er kan nog van alles gebeuren. Het slippertje is zo gemaakt. Dus je kunt maar beter een beetje meer voorsprong hebben.
En ook jouw luitenanten zijn heel sterk. Hè? Want ik stond voorbij de streep naast jou met een grote glimlach. Meteen nummer 2 en 3 te feliciteren. Want die komen ook uit Nederland. Ja,
ongelooflijk. Echt super mooi. Volgens mij Lucinda en Annemarie beide hun eerste podiumplaats. Maar dat laat wel zien dat we er goed voor staan. Helaas viel Telita de Jong letterlijk uit in haar thuiswedstrijd als regerend wereldkampioen. Nou ja, dan hebben we natuurlijk ook nog Sophie de Boer die als wereldbeker winnares hier ook rondreed. Dus heel sterk team volgende week.
Succes ermee. Dankjewel, Marianne Vos.
Marianne Vos ready for the World Championships. She said she'll enjoy the World Cup victory first, and then she'll start to think about the World Championships in the coming few days. We wait now for the podium presentation. Just having a look at the under 23 competition, just to check out the position of Ellen Noble. She finished 39th today. But she had a pretty big lead in that contest overall, so we'll just have to wait for the overall standings to appear.
En uiteraard ook de bijbehorende bloemen voor de dame op de derde plaats hier bij de elite vrouwen. Dan gaan we kijken naar de dame op de tweede plaats. Eveneens afkomstig hier uit Nederland voor de second place. Also representing the Netherlands. Dames en heren, een applaus voor Lucinda Brandt.
An all-Dutch podium, Lucinda Brand in second place for her new Sunweb team.
Lucinda de bloemen en de bijbehorende zoenen van onze rondelist van JF-mode van Brit. En uiteraard ook zometeen voor de dame op de eerste plaats. De winnares van de wereldbekermarge hier in de Hoogerheide. Representing the Netherlands, the first place in the race. Dames en heren, een geweldig applaus voor Marianne Vos.
Marianne Vos wins here in Hoogerheide.
In dat nieuwe tricot, althans de rood-blauw heeft ze vaker gehad, maar er staat nu op WM3 Pro Cycling. Een geweldige
staying warm, getting ready for another week ahead. Doesn't want to get sick or ill before the World Championships come up.
De nodige zoenen. Dan hebben we de heer directeur, CEO van ICO Ederterm. En die heeft de extra prijs voor de dames. En dan beginnen we op de derde plaats, dus de extra prijs voor Annemarie Wost. Die was vandaag wel heel erg primus. En dat betekent dat de verzorgers daar straks super blij mee zullen zijn.
Marianne giving some instruction from the podium.
Primus vandaag hier in Hoogerheide. En ze krijgt de zoenen en de felicitaties overgebracht door de heer Dirk Teuns, CEO van ICO Ederterm. Vorige week nog bekendgemaakt dat zij weer een langdurig contract zijn aangegaan qua sponsoring met deze grote prijs Adrie van der Poel. De felicitaties ook en natuurlijk ook dat Primus daarvoor Lucinda Brandt. En het fusje gaat mee met de winnares van de grote prijs Adrie van der Poel met Marianne Vos.
Well, let's hope she doesn't drink that before next weekend. Maybe have a party afterwards, Marianne.
Marianne. En uiteraard dat allemaal mede mogelijk gemaakt dankzij Primus Hart. Hier staat de top 3. En dan mag de heer Teuns erbij staan. Uiteraard onze rondemis Brit. En dames en heren, hier een geweldig applaus voor de top 3. Voor Annemarie Worst, Lucie Lebrand en Marianne Vos.
There's our podium. Anne-Marie Worst, Lucinda Brown, Marianne Vos.
Voor nu,
oh, she wanted something.
Van Nederland, het Wilhelmus.
Maybe her mascot.
Hoogerheide laat u horen voor Annemarie Worst, Lucinda Brandt en Marianne Vos. Een dikke proficiat voor de top 3 hier bij de elite vrouw. Deze grote prijs Adrie van de Poel. Uiteraard verzoeken we de dames ook even een stapje naar voren te doen. Zodat ze iets vooraan staan op het podium. En de fotografen nog mooiere plaatjes kunnen maken van deze volledig Nederlandse top 3. Bij deze grote prijs Adrie van de Poel.
Well, fantastic women's race. It lived up to its expectation as we take a look there at the 3 riders who ended up on the podium, and you look through the rest of the riders who finished behind them, and it's just a who's who of the world of cyclocross. Every single person that we would like to have in a cyclocross race was here. Marianne Vos wins in front of a big crowd here in Hoogerheide.
Ja, maar eerst nog de 3 plaatsen van het eindklassement.
As we get ready.
De overall rankings, top 3 op de overall rankings van de UCI World Cup.
To just glance across here, and I think we'll just wait for the presentation of the World Cup jerseys.
Dames en heren, mag dan aanstonds ook uw aandacht voor de prijstrekking van het overall klassement. Ladies and gentlemen, please may I have your attention please for the opening ceremony of the overall rankings of the 2016 and 2017 Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup hier in Hoogerheide.
Well, don't forget, we will be bringing you the presentation for the men's race. On the start line very soon.
Het is sunny hier in Hoogerheide, vandaar de mooie zonnebril. Maar ze krijgt ook nog eens de kussen erbij.
Katarina Nash in her sunglasses, 3rd place in the Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. Just confirmed to you, the under-23 winner will be Ellen Noble. Katarina Nash consistent in the last few rounds. It's great to see her ride pretty much a full World Cup series. She finishes on the podium, all smiles. A great competitor on the World Cup circuit. Sanne Kant finishes in 2nd place with 395 points, 2 points ahead of Katarina Nash.
En uiteraard de bloemen voor haar 2e plaats in dat eindklassement van deze UCI World Cup Cyclo-cross. Niet alleen de bloemen, maar ook voor Sanne inderdaad die mooie bokaal. En die krijgt ze ook overhandigd door de heer Peter van der Abelen namens de UCI. Met haar 2e plaats in het eindklassement bij de elite vrouwen. Deze Telenet UCI World Cup 2016-2017. Podiumplaatsje nog leeg, want dat gaan we weldra invullen. The winner of this overall classement, Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup 2016-2017. Representing the Netherlands, de winnares van de Wereldcup 2016-2017 uit Nederland, Sophie de Boer.
Sophie de Boer is the winner of the World Cup. There she is, all smiles.
En die is niet alleen naar Hoogerheide gekomen. Ze heeft een hele buslading vol met de supporters van Sophie de Boer. In dat mooie shirt van Breedpark Breda krijgt zij daar...
A great season that started in Vegas with a race she said that she was losing very badly and then found the will to come back and take the victory ahead of Katarina Nash and Katie Compton. That set her up for the season to then finish second in Valkenburg, third in Namur. She's been consistent all the time. She was sixth in Zolder, third in Fuji. She's just been there or thereabouts in every single race. That's what it is. Consistency is key when it comes to the World Cup. Sophie de Boer takes the victory.
Een mooi podium bij de elite vrouwen met dus daar de top 3, Katarina Nash aan de kant en Sophie de Boer. We gaan er nog één dame bij halen, denk ik. Of gaan we het podium vrijmaken?
Well, the under-23 World Cyclo-cross World Cup winner will be Ellen Noble of the United States of America. In the meantime, we look here at the podium with Sophie de Boer, the winner of this year's series. Join us again shortly for more racing. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Goodbye for now.
Dames, een dikke proficiat krijgt opgehandeld van onze onderwijs Brit hier in de Hoogerheide. En uiteraard tussen de winnares.